everything we know about the blue aliens from Stargate Universe. Coming up right after this. Hey everybody, I am Taylor from Beard vs. Geek, where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. First off, yes, we have a brand new set, and no, this is not the final stuff to go on here. So bear with me here, it's gonna take a little bit of figuring out, and if you want something on here that isn't, let me know in the comment section down below. Stargate Universe, the main enemy in Stargate Universe apart from survival is actually the blue aliens. First off, they do have a name, and their name is Nakai. That was revealed in one of Joseph Malzini's blog, who was an executive producer on Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe. And in case you're wondering, Nakai is actually Japanese for waitress. Although, since I'm not fluent in Japanese, if you are, please let me know if that's true in the comment section down below. So the Nakai, this is a very interesting species. First, it was revealed by Joe that the Nakai have a bit of an obsession with destiny. That they contacted the ship when it was stopping to refuel, and upon hailing it and not getting a reply, they scanned the ship and figured out that there was nobody on board. So they engaged it to try to capture it as a prize of war, and they got their butts kicked again and again and again by the automated defenses, which made them want it even more, because Destiny had amazing technology that they did not have. Yes, the Nakai are extremely technological advanced. They do have the technology in order to read minds, in order to keep people alive in the Stargate version of Bacta tanks, as well as faster than light travel, decent weapons, and swarms of space leech ships, which are kind of weird. Now, the Nakai themselves are very interesting physically. Yes, they are bipedal. They do have a structure of what appears to be bones, as well as tendons and or ligaments, and not really have a lot of muscle tissue around their body, making them fairly weak physically. Weak enough so that Rush was able to choke one out with hardly any resistance whatsoever, although they can scream like hell. Now, speaking of physical, you might have noticed that yes, they are blue, and yes, they are somewhat bioluminescent. Now, we do know the gene and species here on Earth that are bioluminescent, and yes, we can splice that into other species. However, we do know that being bioluminescent takes up a lot of energy. Therefore, creatures that are bioluminescent need to eat a tremendous amount of calories in order to keep that up. Therefore, it is possible that with the Nakai, the ones who glow less bright than the others are the ones who didn't really have their dinner that day. Moving on, their skin is somewhat transparent, which leads us to get a little bit of a look at their skeletal structure and a little bit into their brain, enough to know that part of it is slightly glowing, as well as their eyes. Now, their eyes are quite large, and creatures with large eyes tend to develop those eyes in order to look at low light areas. Therefore, it is theoretically possible that the Nakai developed on a world or in an environment that did not have a tremendous amount of access to sunlight, like we have. The Nakai have a stature slightly greater than the average human, and seem to be around 6 foot-ish tall on average. Now, for some reason, we do see a lot of water on Nakai ships. We do have the tanks that Rush and Chloe were in. We also had these random tubes of water with bubbles in them. This could indicate that the Nakai, with their large eyes, which is indicative of a lot of aquatic species, this could indicate that the species originally developed in the ocean and is amphibious in nature. Although they are bipedal and able to operate on land, it is theoretically possible that they're kind of like a salamander. Yes, they do walk on land, but they also need to be close to water. Now, we do know that the Nakai do have suits all the time that do have inputs on them, presumably to be hooked up to life support systems, which we see with Rush and Chloe, but really we don't really know what it does for the Nakai themselves. If they are amphibious, and that is my theory, they could possibly be hooked up to their natural environment, to some type of nutritious water supply in order to keep them properly hydrated. However, that is just an idea and not actually fact. In short, the Nakai biologically are rather fascinating. Having large eyes, being bioluminescent, being bipedal, and being able to ambulate by means of well, mainly tendons and not a lot of muscles, the Nakai are a very interesting biological species. They do have advanced technology, they do have faster than light travel, and they can be extremely obsessive. However, if there was a random unmanned ship coming through our galaxy with advanced technology, you do know that we would be all over that like white on rice. So that's everything that we know about the Nakai. More theories on the Nakai to come in the future. And if you are a Stargate fan, make sure to check out the Stargate Guy. It is a brand new channel. It is launched today and has a bunch of Stargate videos on top of it. And it will be producing Stargate content every single week. You can check them out right here. And if you haven't already, you can go ahead and subscribe to Beard vs. Geek. Because every week I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. You can also check out these two videos right over here for some more manliness and geekiness. Because after all, if the women don't find you manly, they should at least find you geeky. And until next time, don't go shaving on me.